Hi, it's Mark from Enchantment of Eternity here, and I just wanted to give a quick few thoughts on the latest news about The Expanse, that The Expanse has been canceled by the SyFy Channel. Now, I did my review of the latest episode, episode 5, and I had heard this news while I was working on that review, but I made the decision to not mention that in that review because that was such a great episode and it's such a great show, and I wanted to focus more on the episode itself. But in the comments, this is what everyone wanted to talk about, and rightfully so, because it's pretty big news. Now, I did touch on this a little bit on my discussion video I did, where I had other YouTubers, Darren from D's Review, Acting Tompkins, Don Willie, and we all talked about the possibility of what The Expanse might happen to The Expanse. It could go to Netflix or whatever, and we were doing a bit of a bashing of the SyFy Channel as well, and I'll put a link to that video in this description if you want to hear that. But in this video, I just want to give, I don't really want to do any of the bashing of the SyFy Channel or lamenting about how it sucks the show is canceled. I more want to talk about just a succinct place of why I love this show so much. I believe The Expanse is the best show on television. It's my favorite show on television at the moment. And I include all the shows that are in hiatus, like Game of Thrones. Because I used to love Game of Thrones, used to be my favorite show. I was a bit unhappy with the last season. And I think the season 2 of The Expanse and season 3 is shaping up to be much better. So I would say this is the highest quality show. This is my favorite show airing at the moment. I don't know, I haven't seen Westworld Season 2 yet. I saw Season 1, I liked it, but I don't think it was quite as great as a lot of people are saying. Maybe I'll change my mind about Season 2, but I do think this is better than Stranger Things or Jessica Jones, or any of those Netflix shows, so pretty much anything. And so you can imagine how upset I was when I heard the news that it was being canceled. Now, there's hope, as I said, because the company that owns it, Alcon, they said that they would shop around. And I've seen the same quote like in a dozen different places. So it's basically just one quote saying we're going to shop around because this is a really, high quality IP. And a lot of the articles I'm reading are just ruminating about how weird it is that a show that was such critical acclaim, that has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the critics love it, the fans love it, is being canceled. Now, there are reasons for that I got to in the discussion video. It had to do with the financial contract that they had with SyFy Channel, and the fact that SyFy Channel did such a shitty job at promoting it, and so it's not getting as many views as it could be. And you think if something like a Netflix or Amazon picked it up, they might be a lot better at promoting this great show, which to me it should be doing as well as Westworld or Game of Thrones or Stranger Things, or at least near there, because to me, as I said, my opinion is even better, but at the very least, objectively speaking, it's at that same level. And it's a really shame that it's not getting better ratings, and I think a lot of that does have to do with the promoting, because a lot of people I talk to, they've never heard of this show. And when I tell them you need to watch it, a lot of them is just like, oh yeah, I have like a whole shitload of shows on my list. And to be fair, I'm the same way. When someone tells me to watch a show, I'm like, alright, well I have like 5 shows I'm needing to watch. But a show like Westworld, they did a great job promoting. They showed the trailers and the previews, and people didn't have to be convinced. They're like, I want to watch that. And it's a shame the same couldn't be for The Expanse. So the hope is that The Expanse can continue. Now, there's a petition someone posted on my channel, a link to, on change.org, to a petition to Netflix to get to pick up The Expanse. Now, that petition has changed for the title has changed where it's Netflix or Amazon, because apparently they heard somewhere that Amazon was actually a better, more likely option than Netflix. So I signed the petition. I would urge you to sign the petition. I'll put a link to that too in the description. Apparently, this goal was 7,500 signatures, and it got 15,000 just in a few days. So doubled its goal just in a few days that it's been announced. So you might think, oh well, nobody really pays attention to those sort of things, but you got to remember shows like the original Star Trek series and Quantum Leap and all the shows. These shows lasted longer than the networks wanted them to because, or intended, not wanted them to, but intended them to, because of fan letters and fans getting involved and fans voicing their opinion about how they want the show to continue. Now it's obvious that SyFy Channel is not going to change their mind because they're them. It's more, it has more to do with the financial business decisions, which a lot of people have criticized on, saying, well, it's actually a high quality show. It's your best quality show, and I think that's a pretty objective fact, and it increases your image. Even if the ratings aren't what you want them to be, it still increases your image. So it's a really stupid decision from that standpoint, because now your channel has a lesser image and people are going to think less of your channel. But anyway, yeah, so they're not going to change their mind. SyFy Channel's not going to change their mind. But, as I said, they're trying to shop it around. And it is known, like Netflix has been known to pick up other shows that have been canceled. Like a lot of people are mentioning Arrested Development. They bought out Black Mirror, which wasn't canceled, but it's still, they can pick up other shows. And Amazon and Hulu and all this other stuff that or YouTube Red, someone pointed out, all these want to compete with Netflix. They would probably do the same. And this is, as I said, is very high critically acclaimed. So I think it's very important that that you voice that your displeasure with the show being canceled and that you want it to continue. So basically, I will be holding my breath for the next, however long, a couple of months until it's announced that this is renewed. I'm not so sure it's a foregone conclusion. It seems like it should be a foregone conclusion because it's such a good, high quality show that's in place, and any streaming service or channel, any other network would be an idiot to turn it down. Because it's already all there. This turn is working, and if it's promoted right, it could be a huge smash hit that SyFy Channel obviously wasn't able to handle right. So you would think it's a foregone conclusion, but that's not necessarily the case. There's many other great shows canceled before their time when you thought it would be obvious that another network should pick it up. So yeah, we're hoping. And because it's weird, because SyFy Channel used to be known as the channel that would pick up canceled shows. Like it picked up Stargate SG-1 and The Outer Limits when they were canceled by Showtime. And so it used to be the channel that would pick up shows that were canceled before their time, but now it's become the channel that cancels shows before their time, and other networks are going to have to step up. But I suppose that just shows the more modernizing that we're moving more towards streaming services, and cable networks are becoming a bit obsolete. But so maybe the Expanse will be better off, but that is assuming that it's picked up, and I'm really hoping, of course, that it is, because if I did a top 10, I do a top 10 favorite TV shows of the year every year at the end of the year, and I believe for season 1 The Expanse was in my top 5. For season 2 it was number 1. It was my number 1 favorite show. I did like this awards and stuff, award my favorite actors, and the Expanse was really high on all of them, and it was my favorite show. And it's going to be really, really strong contender for number 1 slot this year as well. So it's such a great show, and it'd be an absolute travesty if it doesn't get picked up by another network. So I'll be holding my breath. The longer this goes without it being picked up, the more worried I get, because there's a thing where they have a lot of expensive sets that apparently the longer they wait, the more expensive it is to hold on to them. So eventually, at one point, they're going to have to just write it off, which makes it even harder. A less likely possibility for the show to come back. And plus, actors will move on to other projects, and that will make it even harder for the show to come back. So hopefully, like, the longer we wait without it, but it's only been a few days now. So, but if I haven't heard news by the end of season 3 finishing its run, which is until like July, then I'm going to start to get worried. So hopefully we'll hear news. You can check out the links I said in the channel about signing petitions and any other things you come across, any other social medias, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Just voice your opinion about how you would like to see the Expanse return. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about this. From now on, I just want to review the show, and I just want to talk about the shows because it's such a great show, as I said, and I don't want all my future videos to get bogged down in this topic, so I put this video out there. So if you put your thoughts on the show getting canceled here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.